Hey folks, Troy Tomey here. Welcome to weekly guitar class. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pentatonic scales, what they mean, how they're used, and where they come from. Whenever we use scales, we always use two types of scales, the pentatonic and the diatonic. Penta meaning 5 and diatonic scales meaning 7. All scales are derived from the major scale or the diatonic scale. So since there's 7 notes in the major scale, there actually is going to be 7 modes. Now in C major, the 7 notes goes as follows: C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So again, 7 notes, there's going to be 7 modes. And all those modes is you're actually starting on each one of those 7 notes or scale degrees, and you're playing through all the same notes, but starting on a different note of that same key and playing through the 7 notes, and that's called a mode. So I'm going to play some examples of some of these modes. So the first mode, starting on C, and we always do our scales 2 octaves on the guitar. Going from C to C, you're actually doing a C major scale, also referred to as the Ionian mode. So the C major scale or Ionian mode goes as follows. So that's a C major scale or the Ionian mode. Now when you start on D, the next note in the scale, and you still stick with all the same notes in the C major scale, then you're playing what's called the Dorian mode. If you start on E, still sticking with all the same notes in the C major scale, you're playing what's called the Phrygian mode. And if you start on F, you're playing the Lydian mode. And if you start on G, you're playing the Mixolydian mode. A, you're playing the Aeolian mode. And if you start on B, you're playing the Locrian mode. So again, those are all the 7 modes for the C major scale. Playing and starting on each one of the scale notes and going through that same 7 notes in the C major scale throughout all the neck. And that's how to spread the notes out along the neck, is learning these modes. So there's an easy way to memorize these modes in order, and the saying goes as follows: I did pee last Monday after lunch. Now we're going to create the pentatonic scale. So again, everything's derived from the C major scale or just the major scale, but we're using the C major for our example today. And to create the pentatonic scale out of the major scale, all you have to do is take out the 4th and the 7th scale degree, and that's creating your 5 notes. So in C major, again, those 2 notes that you're taking out, which is the 4th scale degree, which is F, and the 7th scale degree, which is B. Now you're left with C, D, E, G, A. So those are your 5 pentatonic notes in C major. Now, not like the modes, there is actually no real names for these pentatonic shapes. We just call them the 5 pentatonic shapes. So here they are in C major. So you got your shape 1, your shape 2, your shape 3 starting on E, your shape 4 starting on G, and then your shape 5 starting on A. each key signature shares what's called 2 keys. So any major scale has what's called its relative minor, and that starts on the 6th scale degree of any major scale. So if you're in the key of C major and you wanted to find its relative minor, you just go up 6 notes: C, D, E, F, G, A. So C major's relative minor is A minor. So if you want, you can go up to 6 scale degrees, or an easy way to find it is actually you find your root, which is again C, which we're dealing with today. On the 8th fret, you go down a half step, which is B, and then you go down another whole step. So that's an easy way to find any major scale's relative minor. Go down a half step and then another whole step. Now, I have this book that I just brought out, and it has all this information here in the book and much, much more. So I'm selling these books. Anyone that wants a copy, I can send you one. And if you want an e-copy, I can also do that. Just send me a private message and I can send you one of these books. Okay? So that's all for today, folks. So there's your breakdown of some pentatonic scales and a little bit about minor. And remember, repetition is the key. See you next time.